Hello, focused learners, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we're finally going to crack the code on a problem that plagues, well, pretty much all of us: why our goals so often fail. We've all been there, right? You set a target, you feel super motivated, and yet weeks later, you're nowhere near it. But today, we're not relying on pop psychology or motivational fluff. No way. We're diving deep into hard, scientifically validated data to understand the exact mechanics of goal attainment.
So here is our roadmap for the explainer today. We'll kick things off with the intention-behavior gap, then uncover the missing link of monitoring, review the actual meta-analysis results, dissect behaviors versus outcomes, and finish up with a highly actionable playbook for effective monitoring.
Let's jump right in. Section 1, the intention-behavior gap, or why our resolutions fail.
We all know that universal pain point of setting a New Year's resolution only to completely fall short by mid-February. So I want to pose this provocative question right out of the gate. Why do our goals fail? There's this really pervasive myth out there that simply wanting something badly enough is all it takes. But as we're going to see, intention alone is rarely enough to drive consistent action.
Enter the intention-behavior gap. This is the scientifically documented disconnect between forming a goal intention, basically setting a goal, and actually executing the actions required to attain it. What the research clearly shows is that forming an intention, telling yourself you're going to do something, is actually only a modest predictor of your actual performance. It's the starting line, sure, but it is absolutely not the vehicle that gets you to the finish line.
Section 2. The missing link. What happens between setting and getting a goal?
So if intention isn't enough, what exactly is that crucial missing step? Well, to understand this, we need to look at control theory. This is a framework suggesting that setting a goal merely establishes a reference value. Think of a dieter aiming to lose 2 pounds a week. Setting that goal is really just planting a flag in the ground. The actual work of goal striving requires actively monitoring your progress against that target and responding to the discrepancies. You literally have to continually evaluate your ongoing performance to know if you need to course correct.
And this brings us to a fascinating concept known as the ostrich problem. This is people's motivated avoidance of information concerning goal progress. It perfectly explains why, when we know we've eaten poorly all week, we actively avoid stepping on the scale. Or, when we know we've overspent, actually, scratch that. Even when we just suspect we've overspent, we refuse to check our bank accounts. We literally bury our heads in the sand to avoid confronting the discrepancy between our current state and our reference value. It's wild, but we all do it.
Section 3, the meta-analysis results. Let's look at the hard data on tracking.
Okay, it's time to shift from psychological theory to rigorous scientific proof. The research we're looking at was deposited in White Rose Research Online, and it compiled data from over 100 experimental interventions. Now, this wasn't just some quick online survey. These were controlled experiments specifically testing whether prompting people to monitor their progress actually led to them achieving their goals.
And this wasn't a small, isolated test either. This was a massive collaborative study synthesizing decades of experimental evidence across numerous academic institutions, including the universities of Leeds, Sheffield, and York. They pulled together decades of data to find the definitive truth about goal striving.
19,951. Almost 20,000 people. That is the total number of participants across the 138 randomized controlled trials included in this meta-analysis. When you have sample sizes this large, the signal cuts right through the noise. We are looking at undeniable, concrete behavioral patterns here.
The data shows these interventions were incredibly successful at increasing how often people monitor their goals, creating a massive effect size of 1.98. But more importantly, that increase in monitoring reliably drove goal attainment, with a very solid effect size of 0.40. Simply put, the interventions made people track their progress, and that tracking directly caused them to achieve their goals. Boom!
Moving into Section 4, behaviors versus outcomes and the matching effect.
Now we're getting into a massive aha moment. There is a fundamental difference between tracking the specific actions you take versus the ultimate results you want. For example, monitoring behavior means tracking your daily step count or, writing down everything you eat. Monitoring outcomes, on the other hand, means stepping on a scale to check your weight loss or checking your final bank balance.
These two approaches create what researchers call the matching effect. The data shows that if you want to change a specific habit, you absolutely must monitor that specific behavior. Behavioral discrepancies tell you exactly where your daily actions are failing. But if you want to change an overall result, because let's face it, there might be multiple ways to achieve it, you should monitor the outcome. Outcome discrepancies tell you that you need to adjust your overall effort, even if it means trying a completely different behavior to get there.
Section 5. How to monitor effectively. Let's build your actionable playbook.
Let's extract the exact data-backed rules for your success. Monitoring your progress publicly or reporting it to someone else has a huge effect size of 0.55 compared to a measly 0.19 when kept private. So, accountability works, for sure. Furthermore, physically recording your data, like writing it in a journal or an app, massively outperforms just trying to keep mental track of it. To win, you need to write it down and you need to let someone else see it. The researchers also found something really interesting. Devices matter immensely. Utilizing technology or physical tools, like smartphones, pedometers, or blood pressure monitors, generated the absolute largest increases in monitoring frequency. Relying on sheer willpower to remember to track is just a losing game. You have to offload the friction of tracking onto a dedicated device. And you can supercharge these results even further. Monitoring is great, but compounding it with specific behavior change techniques makes it incredibly potent. The data shows that when you combine tracking with setting highly specific goals, creating direct action plans, and, this is the big one, getting immediate feedback on your behavior, your chances of hitting your target completely skyrocket. Immediate feedback reinforces that ongoing performance perfectly.
So the absolutely crucial point we want to leave you with today is this. Intention is just the starting line. It's the unglamorous, consistent, everyday work of tracking and monitoring your progress that acts as the scientifically proven bridge across the intention-behavior gap. Without tracking, you are quite literally navigating without a map.
Which leaves us with one final, very important question for you. What goal will you track today? Will you track the behavior or will you track the outcome? Will you be brave and make it public? I highly encourage you to take this science, pick one goal right now, and set up a physical system to track it today. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. Keep learning, keep tracking, and I'll see you next time.